Alright, well guys, I did some extensive weapon damage testing. Damage in this game is very confusing, so I decided to test it out and see what will happen. The testing was simple. I went with 5 weapon types, that means every weapon type in a game. I've chosen 2 of the best weapons in that weapon type category, and I hit Gorgon opponents in an unarmored head and armored head. And then I calculated percentages of the maximum damage that the weapon is displaying that it does. So how much of the maximum damage it actually does versus armored headpiece and unarmored headpiece. And the results are very confusing because it doesn't matter what type of stats the weapon is focusing. I first thought that elemental and crushing does more damage versus armored pieces, but every test that I did disputes that. So I'm really not sure. I wish I could tell you guys more, because these are the results and I'm literally even more confused at how this works. At the top of the screen you can see the stats for full set Gorgon MK6 that has elemental / crush and thrust defense numbers, so that you can see for yourself. Now I don't know what type of Gorgon, what mark of Gorgon set these guys were wearing that I fought, but I believe it was MK8. Doesn't matter really. Percentages don't lie. It's simple as that. So let's try to figure out what happens here. Spitfire Rod is slightly different thing than the others, because Spitfire Rod will actually put enemy on fire, which will do damage over time. But still, the way I calculated this is simply by pressing R1 button once. So I hit an enemy once in the head with an R1 button. That's a horizontal, that's a horizontal attack. And that's what I did with every weapon. I did no combos whatsoever. In combos, numbers are very confusing and I can't really calculate that. It's really confusing. I would be even more dumbfounded if I did that. Let's start with this. As you can see, Spitfire Rod and Carmina have absolutely the same percentage numbers. Some weapons are Mark 7, some weapons are Mark 8 on this screen, but it doesn't matter. The percentages don't lie, as I said before. The numbers will deviate slightly, but the percentages will tell the whole truth. I hope you guys understand this table. It should be pretty simple. So anyway, let's get to Judge and Gotterdamerung, or whatever pronunciation is. I couldn't bother putting the whole name here. Here is the biggest deviation that I had, and that was these 7 percentage numbers when I hit an enemy in armored head. But it's still not that significant. I mean, 7% is something, but not that much more different, considering the difference in stats in these weapons. I mean, they have completely different stats. I believe Judge has a lot more elemental damage. Centurion and Parsifal version 2, they're basically the same stats. Nothing changes, nothing at all. Centurion and Parsifal version 2 have the same percentage numbers, although their stats are completely different, same as Judge and Gotterdamerung. Pax version 2 Fractal, absolutely the same, and their stats are completely different again. Talons and Firebug version 2, same thing, same percentages, but the stats are different when you're watching them in the weapon category. You guys can check that for yourself. I couldn't put this in a table because it would be too many numbers. I don't think it would be that great if I put all the specific damage numbers for a specific weapon. Trust me that all of these weapons are different. Spitfire is different to Carmina, Judge is different to Gotterdamerung, and so on. So the conclusion, I have none, honestly. The ultimate truth is that you should use always the best weapon in the category, and these are the best weapons in the respective categories. I'm missing only Peacekeeper, I think, in a staff category. That's the first one. I would think based on these tests that it would do the same. As I said, maybe I'm missing something. You guys can give me more input and feedback in comment section, but I don't know what I'm missing. Might be something really obvious. Ultimately, it's up to you what kind of weapon type you want to do, but inside these weapon types, it doesn't matter what weapon you're using. That's the whole truth. Almost the same amount of damage. So pick your poison. The only difference is how it scales with proficiency, and that's it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the video, the table that is, not many video sequences in here. And see you guys soon. I will give you Iron Mouse build very soon.